Yeah! Hello and welcome to this Cast 2v2 game on two lakes. Today we've got two teams. On blue team we've got Infantry and DukeDankins playing 101st Airborne and 2nd Panzergrenadier respectively. And on red team we've got 39Y and 6Y played by ED.Monk and Marisa respectively. So same teams as last time, and essentially yeah, 101st ain't very good at all. But I think, yeah, 6YA isn't either. So basically, if the game goes late, I think red's got a bigger advantage than blue because 101st just doesn't scale at all. They get some meep Abrams, but generally, it's all about the infantry grind. So looking at the deployments, looks like we've got, I'll work out where everybody's going. So Marisa Fan is sending 6 Lustrum Jaeger with Metis and with no Metis to Foxtrot to secure Foxtrot. And yeah, Spetsgrupper A and Razvedka, who only get the recon forward deploy. The Razvedka's going here, which is really interesting actually. Usually you'd want like up here or even here. Like here's a bit you're expected to get pushed basically if you go in there, you're not expecting your guys to take the zone. Spetsgrupper Array is going in. What I'd really like to see is some recon in the church, because religious people can see further than atheists. So you see how far this religious person can see, and you see how far this this atheist can see there. So very different amounts of vision there. Behind that, we've got, yeah, Urals, Igla, Conkers. Oh, the Igla is actually going to the church, but the Conkers is going... Where? I don't think the Conkers has been pathed. So Periapio, that's not been pathed either. Tunguska's going over here. Not really where you want it, because the enemy can shoot it. You sort of want it behind the town. And a CV for Echo Foxtrot. Then... Yeah, they're going. They really want Tango. Wow, was it called Tango? Hang on, what? Oh, I see. It's the other version of Two Lakes. It's the other version of Two Lakes. So this zone is bigger than this one, and yeah, like Delta's back here instead of here, and yeah, Alpha's smaller, Papa's small. So it's the other Two Lakes version. I was thinking then Tango. I don't remember it being called Tango. I thought it was Bravo or something, but anyway, so they go in YOLO with lots of units, and then lots more units over here. So yeah, lots of Razvedka. Not so sure about that. I mean, they're just not very strong, so you don't really want them all fast pathed into a town. All meant for 35 points is not cost efficient, and that transport costed 30 is quite a lot, and that's because it's got recon associated with it. It's got its own optics value, so really you want the KPVs back here, and you really don't want loads of Razvedka running in there. You want regular units. I mean, obviously the spawns are back here on this cut of the map, so it's harder, but it'll take longer. But I really think could have used a lot more regular units. Maybe some helicopters. Like each one of these is an urn, and the urns are not fantastic, but at the start of the game, if you're doing something like this, 6 urns is probably more useful to you than 6 Razvedkas. Yeah, what can I say? Switching to their opponent's deployment. Got a bunch of guys running into Foxtrot, so FS Jaeger, FS Jaeger Milan 2. They're all forward deployed on second. Second, getting the only forward deployed apart from Delta Force on 101st and sniper teams, if you want to count those. So that's going to be an interesting one because these guys are probably going to get there first. And then behind that, okay, so some mortars and stuff, and it looks like most of that's going over here. So mortars and Gepards are going over there, and then a chaparrals for Tango, I guess. Yep, chaparrals for Tango. Lots of little birds here, so they're going to run straight into this push, and we'll see what happens. They're max vetted. I don't know if that's because the CV is next to them, but I would assume this one wouldn't be, so I think he's max vetted them. Air Rifles leader, some more stuff. A couple Aero Scouts GSR. So really interesting deployments. We'll see what happens in the game. Right, so they're off, and I'd like to thank the generous channel joiners. They get the names on the screen. They get the videos a week early. They get members exclusive videos. There's about 37 of those now. And it's a great way to support the channel. At the higher tiers, tiers 2 and 3, you get your games cast. So if you beat a pro player and you wanna, you wanna be famous, you can get your games cast. Just send them to me on Discord if you're a tier 2 or tier 3 member. So yeah, it's a great way to show off if you do really well or something. I did not notice that there's a fob here. It's interesting. You'd expect the red guys to have the fob if they're expecting a late game because of all the MRS. Right, so here we go. Helicopters. Looks like the Mi-24Ks get there first. The little birds have this problem where if they run into gun range of these, they're going to die, which they're now doing. Voluntarily. Well, that was not smart. I've never seen that before. Wow, is it working? It doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's really not. But yeah, the six of them managed to kill that one Mi-24K. ED.Monk, yeah, he's unloading there. Marisa fan, yeah. So they've got in the zone, right? But the Mi-24K survives. Really needs to get out of there. It's got no HP. RKHM is missing out Delta and going straight for Tango, as is the other CV. So this is a big mistake, and they're both owned by the same guy, Erectile Dysfunction Monk. So that's just not intelligent. He really wants to cap this one first, especially if he's got two CVs. But the plan has worked. They're in. On the other side, things are going. It looks like these guys... Basically, the Luftstreamjäger are special forces and shock, whereas the FS on blue team are only shock. So these guys do have the advantage. So even if these guys got here first, which I think they did, they all took up positions here instead of getting further in, and they couldn't stop the helicopters from landing because there was no AA with them, which is a problem with 2nd Panzergrenadier. So, right, okay, so ED.Monk, he's realised... Waffle! It was a good waffle hit, gets 2. Could have got 3, but whatever. LGB's out for Monk, and instead of going for the AA, he's going for the supply truck. Which is not smart. Wow, is it? Yeah, I don't think he's going to get out. No, that was really bad. Losing the LGBT for a supply truck is really not what it's all about. Looks like a healer went down there to Infinity. His chaparral there. He's written cap, but it seems that he sold his transport that the aero rifles came in, so they're going to have to walk in, which means that blue is on a comfortable -2, an uncomfortable -2. I meant to say red. So Reds are doing well. I mean, seems kind of over. This chaparral's picking up the kills though. Gets another one there. MI8 MTPI. That one supply vehicle will not be sufficient to heal that helicopter. You need a lot more than that. Napalms are out. These things are really... Oh, here we go. Another waffle. Whoa, that was a good kill. You see, Monk here, he did not sell his transports. So he lost 60 points worth of transports there. And 2 units. Spetscrupper A will beat this no problem because they've got satchels and SMGs. Which means they're going to do quite a bit. The problem with these napalm planes is that they've got 6 HP, and they're still 6 HE. The advantage is they're cheap, so basically you want to buy 3 of them at once for 240 points, and send them all out at once. I prefer the HE ones, but the idea is that if the first one gets hit by the AA, the next 2 can kill the AA, or at least get through to their objective. So you want to buy them all at once, but we had one over here. I'm not sure what happened to it, if it survived, and we had one over here, which has obviously died. Infinity's picked up his guy with a Chinook, and he's brought in some air rifles. Monk's got to get his guys back. Like, he could be healing these, and they could be surviving, but he's fighting until they die, which is really bad. This guy, he's holding his own, you know, he's staying hidden. If he came to here, he'd be able to start blowing stuff up, but I guess he's worried about this thing hitting him. So for now, he's just on recon duties. But Infinity is in, and ED.Monk, he's just not got much left here. I do wonder where all the points went. Like, where are all the... Why do I have assault rifle stuck to my... What the heck? Okay. Thanks, Eugene. That's a bug and a half. Wow. How do I fix that one? Right, so I just have to click every couple seconds to keep the... I'm just going to have to restart the replay, guys. I'm really sorry about this. You won't notice anything because I'll edit it out, right?
The return of the sausages.
Right, so we're back. Sorry about that. I have seen that bug reported by some people before. I'm not sure what causes it. They haven't fixed it, clearly. so we'll make do. Over here, you know, Red's doing a fine job. I really feel like Marisa should be helping their friend here, because ED.Monk is not having such a fine time and is in danger of losing this zone. Actually, looks like he will lose this zone. Cluster Bomber does a little bit of damage to infantry if it hits them. So 10, 10, 4. And you see that goes down to 3. So it, you know, it didn't hit them, basically. And yeah, you see... So these guys, they're just playing it lane-wise, right? They're not actually... you know, if you're Marisa fan here, you should probably think, well, I've taken my zone, time to help out the team. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of that happening. And on the other side, same. If you're DukeDankins, you should think, I've lost my zone. Let's go take this one back. With all my marders, you know, my friend's got the infantry, I can bring the tanks, and we can take all this back, and then we can focus on this. But instead, we just see sort of lane 1, lane 2 here, which is not ideal for either team. The Spetsgruppe A are really a juicy target. I mean, they need to spread out a bit. We'll see how well this does. It's going to make it. I'm just looking at those T-55s there. Sorry, I had my cup of tea in my other hand, so I couldn't... Well, it's not tea, it's just water with honey in it. Helps my throat. I do a lot of talking these days, as you might imagine. So this is the third napalm plane, and it's being sent out by itself. So I'm expecting... Yeah, that went about as well as you might expect. Doesn't even land on him. So that's just a waste, really. Those are coming from Marisa fan, I guess, to help out ED.Monk here. Do you see a couple of units? This racist is forced to fall back. These Chinooks, I guess, didn't even manage to land. Or were they going away after landing? It's hard to tell. But they're all dead anyway. Well, actually, yeah, Aero Rifles AT-4 destroyed. Yeah, so that was 2 in their transports, which is really bad, actually. This Barusa's going to start lighting up those Aero Rifles now. Need to do something about this Meep, though. And that Meep should... Yeah, it's going for the Barusa. The infantry's not having a great time, and this is... So this zone got a lot smaller in the other version, and it's because... Darex hates it when you have a guy in the corner of the zone. This guy, oh, one conquers team. That was really good. He's running away, though. Could have got the second one. So that's a shame. Good utility, though. ED.Monk, he's trying to get around here with the BMP-2s. The main problem is the Meep, so I guess if he unloads the... He's on move instead of attack move, so he's not actually even... Because if he was on attack move and he started moving over here, he would fire Conquers at these, but instead he's just... throwing. So over here, DukeDankins is desperate to get back in this zone, but we're not seeing the team play, you know. So yeah, the BMP-2s, they should have really engaged from max range, max AT gun range, because they're just getting beaten up by the Abrams when it can shoot back, whereas the ATGM does actually outrange the gun. Interesting. And Infinity gets the CV back in, but it's still +1 for Red, even though this is here. I hear MLRS, 2 Lars 2s from DukeDankins. He's going in over here now, so preliminary bombardment. I say that, but I guess he's already falling back. It's just, yeah, there's just too much in here, really. Like, this is quite narrow for a 1v1 map, so on 2v2, certainly that it just becomes this very grindy game, because... you know, look at it. It's very difficult to push into that. And it's the same in the other town. Having said that, somehow the red CV died here. I'm not sure how that happened. So the tick stops. 30 minutes left to play. Blue does need to get some points on the board. And yeah, it's very difficult to push into this. I mean, the second Panzergren, he sort of got the right idea, but you should really be buying the M110A2s. The Lars does help, but the The M110A2 is I think that's what it's called. The really big one. And then you just start destroying these buildings one at a time. Spot, fall back. Use Jaeger Aufklärer because they got a lot of HP, so you can get them forward, spot, fall back, hit all those buildings, go forwards again. I mean, you've got like 40 minutes, right? But I really do think that both teams should be focusing on this side because this is where the points are, basically. Because, you know, this is a very secure... Oh, here we go. Waffles out. Whoa, that was good. It got like 4 or 5 there. There's like 2 here maybe. Sadly, this doesn't work properly, so it only says 1. Just another bug they can't be bothered fixing. And here we go. They're like, oh yeah, we get that as well. We get MLRS. So, there you go. Lots of grads there, but it's strange that Red didn't open FOB. DukeDankins, he's got the self-propelled... He's got the towed 155s. I really do prefer the M110. I think it's really good, but it's only 1 per card, so it's hard to fit 2 in. Typically, you don't want to drive into the enemy artillery, but artillery in this game is very hit or miss. Yeah, if it lands right next to you, it doesn't do anything. It's got to literally direct impact you, and even then, your open-topped Humvee, 6 guys inside, survives a direct round from a Uragan there. So... Artillery, very weird. Basically, they need to make the splash a lot wider, and they need to make things like these open-topped Humvees not impervious to it. But the advantage of the Lars is it can fire a lot. Especially if you put CVs next to them, they fire really quickly. So he's actually going for the Uragan. I doubt it'll do much. I mean, this has... Oh, it's only got 6 HP now. It used to be 10. And it's got less than 1 armor. But you see that, like, literally, you got to literally direct impact it to do anything. Even if you land right next to it, you don't do anything. That's the problem with artillery. The lower the caliber, the worse it is. And this is not a fight 39Y can win. This kind of infantry grind, 39Y struggles with. But we see Marisa fan helping out the 39Y player. But this is basically where the NATO team is strongest, because certainly 2nd Panzergrenadier gets these really chunky squads as well, whereas Red, you know, they struggle. They do. They don't have these big squads. Not so sure about this. Never really see anybody bringing this because it's very bad, and it gets exploded, so we don't even get to see how bad it is. This guy's done a lot of work. And yeah, would love to see Red. I mean, obviously the BMP2s here died, right? But you really want a Conkers here, and the best optics money can buy. I mean, if you get it to there, great. But you want a Conkers here because it can shoot things like this, and this and this and this. So it's very useful. But hey, they're still on this +1. The Lars are smoking away. You really don't want to be firing from next to the FOB, because if there's some brain cells from the Red team, they'll try and hit that. Although they might just expect that the enemy is moving his guys, which I do a lot. I guess I don't have any brain cells. Bundle of sticks there only deals 1 damage to the Abrams. There's a lot going on here. Like basically 101st really lacks fire support. The only fire support it has is our helicopters, basically, and the MEEP tanks, which are really quite expensive, right? They don't have autocannons and things like that. And from what I remember, oh yeah, they don't get like M113s or stuff like that. So they have very little fire support. So, oof, yikes! These infantry are really low. He really needs to pull them back and get some supply for them. Because otherwise he's going to lose all these squads, and there's no reason to, really, because if you just pull them back, yeah, they're all dying to the fire support, and the helicopters obviously can't do anything. 101st is really quite a weak division, simply due to the helicopter mechanics. They're very unmaneuverable, and yeah, there are too many divisions that basically do everything. Like, I don't think they should buff 101st, I think they should nerf 2nd Panzer. So that tornado cluster goes down, but the other one survives. And those were from DukeDankins, from the 2nd Panzergrenadier player. I really do think that blue should be focusing on this. I just think this is a complete fool's errand to keep attacking here. You're just not going to get anywhere. There's just too much here. And, you know, what are you accomplishing? Better to bring your armor up on this side, you know, cut the red reinforcements into this town. I'm finally seeing another CV here for the red team. And, you know, sadly a lot of these squads died, which they could have been saved. They could have been saved. The CV one's dead. Got some, okay, so basically, there's a video on my channel which shows how to unload units properly. You can click up in the top left and then click Y and then click on the screen and they will go to the position and unload automatically. If I remember, it'll be the first link in the description. If it's not, please leave a comment and then it will suddenly become the first link in the description. You see the Lars 2s are slowly picking away at this. And the Jurgens and the Grads on the other side. It's definitely a two lakes moment. All the buildings getting knocked out one by one. Oh, Waffle! Ah, that's a shame. He got literally nothing. That's a shame. Anyway, 6YA gets Bucks, which are like really good cubs. They've got a very good range, and so like as you can see, and so I would have expected the 6YA player to get two cubs out like right near the start and put them here, and then basically do the air defense for the team, and then the enemy, you know, your teammate doesn't really need the cubs. You could even go 4 Bucks and then let your teammate not bring cubs at all, because the Bucks are better. They've got better accuracy, right? This is 45%, this is 55%, and the range is higher, and the fire rate. I'm pretty sure they fire the same missile, but it's a newer system. I'm not sure actually. They might not. Like a newer version of the same missile. I don't know. We'll let the historical revisionists sort that one out. So these 155s, you know, they're shooting. I really do feel like this is the bigger problem for Blue. A bit of a sort of misallocation of resources. But the problem is, you know, if you send all your stuff over here, then the enemy will presumably send some of his stuff, but he won't, because he needs to hold the town, right? So the many MLRS with no fob, all firing from next to each other without reloading. This giant S thing's really good if you can get a corrected shot on it. You see the power of artillery there, just landing all around it, and very hit or miss. I guess they never miss, huh? Okay, that's counter battery, right? So that Gepard goes down. I'm looking at this counter battery. Oh, okay, he's moved. And all this time, Red's on this +1, right? Red's still winning. Yeah, lots of stuff. I mean, once again, these guys, you know, they're not unloading straight away. MiG-31Bs as well, like 6YA can do... yikes, what? I was going to say they've got really high ECM, so they don't die to AA like that, but this game is all about dice rolls, so sometimes you just get double tapped by 2 Hawks at max range. Warno basically just isn't a competitive game at all, but we do it anyway. We do it anyway. It's everything about it is anti-competitive. Divs which are intentionally made useless, you know. Other things, lots of other things. The RNG obviously is a huge part of it. Just huge RNG. No picks and bans in ranked, things like that. NATO's stronger than PACT basically across the board and has been for as long as I've been paying attention. No, well, I mean the MLRS was OP at one point, so yeah, it's not supposed to be a competitive game, but we still do it. But as far as I'm aware, these guys are just 4 friends chilling out and having some fun. So lots of artillery. And you know, it is slowly making its way there, but you know, if you put CV next to these, they get a lot their reload goes a lot higher. And you know, when you've got 3 CVs in the zone, you know, leave 2 and just send the Sultan onto the Lars. Having the fob is obviously intelligent. Selling the selling the transports that the towed howitzers come in is not intelligent, because you might get smacked by Jurgens, although they're going on the Lars, not on the towed stuff, because that's not fired yet. So this is coming in. As you can see, it's dead on it. Oh, it actually gets it. Wow, and that was only with 8 rounds. That was good. That was a MiG-21 Bison cluster. This thing's amazing, but he missed just slightly there. It also dies in 1 hit to an Eyehawk, so seeing the Eyehawks miss that and hit the MiG-31B is pretty funny. So if he'd aimed here, he would have got all 3, basically. But 1 is better than none, and if your thing survives, that's even better. So they're going for the tanks. They get the Escortini there, the helicopter. Tanks will probably survive. The rest of the Jurgen is going on the second Lars, or where, well, he just basically just fired it at the same place, I think, unless there was like a towed howitzer there, which I didn't see. I'm not sure there was, so it's all looking pretty flat to me. That's that Lars from before, yeah. A bit of a waste of a second volley there, but not the end of the world. I think, is there a lack of supply, perhaps? No. Yeah, over here, I really do think that this should be the focus. But it looks like DukeDankins is building up for a big attack. He's got a lot of tanks and stuff. MiG-21 Bison cluster comes around again. Let's see, this time it might get both of them. But it's all about those Eyehawks, because they can one-shot it. And, yeah, they intercept it and down it goes. I'll be honest, you shouldn't be sending those anywhere near Eyehawks, just because, yeah, but 6YA doesn't really have any seed or anything from what I remember. Generally lacking in good planes apart from that one, which dies in 1 hit to an Eyehawk, or a Cub, or a Buck, so very difficult. That actually died reasonably fast to this. maybe it's good, wow. But generally you don't want to be using your helicopters like that. Quite lucky having this survive, although he's still not unloaded it. And this guy's got to get behind something, man, because if this unloads, he's just going to start slinging TOW2s. Even this, if it came round here, could do it. Giant S, you would hope, would be going on those Eyehawks. Nice juicy target. And these are not being healed. They were just sent there. Right. So now he's got 2 of them, and you would hope they'd be going on the Eyehawks, right? Get the Eyehawks, then you can bomb whatever you want. But instead he's just going to hope one gets through, because they're both bombing the same place. That one did get through, but I mean, it died. And that one did as well. So he gets 1, right? But, well, they both died. You really want to be focusing the AA instead, I reckon. Because then you can use your planes again later. And the enemy's always got to buy fresh AA, so you can really knock the momentum out of your enemy by killing his AA, basically. Force him to rely on fighters, which we've not really seen a lot from Blue. So this guy is getting towed and everything, and he just got side shot by an AT-4 and exploded. So the tick stopped. 16 minutes left. DukeDankins, he's moving in. He's quite clumped up here. This would actually be perfect for those cluster bombers, because I'm pretty sure they've got HE in them as well, and you could kill all of these in 1 hit. But yeah, the fighting is happening. What could I say? Conkers and stuff. These guys are way too clumped up. He's actually sending them back, which is, I mean, they're never getting out of there. They are already dead. I would just send them to a building. 2 waffles out. Oh, I guess that's why he's sending them back. So, whoa, that was a really good kill. It's a shame these don't work properly, so we don't actually know how many they got. 1 mega waffle goes down there to the Bucks and the Tunguskas. Just not seeing a whole lot of anti-AA play. There's lots of artillery, you know, there's lots of ways to shoot these AA pieces, which you've noticed are not really moving. Definitely a way all the players in this game could improve their play. And Infinity, you know, he's finally got his town back. Although now there's just a bunch of T-80 BVs here, so it's going to be hard for him to get any further. But he got his town back. And I can hear lots of artillery. So 155s are going on the TABVs. They'll be fine because they just drive forwards. They go backwards as fast as they go forwards. Completely contrary to real life. But you know how it is. When your historical advisor is a PACT revisionist who loves Serbia and Yugoslavia, etc., you can't really expect the historical accuracies to be implemented fairly, you could say. So yeah, in real life, the T series are infamous for having absolutely awful reverse speeds. But in this game, yeah, they go backwards just as fast as they go forwards. So Marisa fan, not been spending one's income, and now here come a lot of Motostrelky BMP ones. I really do think Dankins is barking up the wrong tree trying to attack this town. Although he has got somewhere, like, I just think he's wasted his time. I think he should have gone in on this, and then both of them could try and break through to this or something. Because there's the only zone back here is here, right? So Marisa fan, all these units are not really going to be doing much. There's no way they go for this, and if they are, it's really easy to defend. T-64 BV goes down to artillery there. There's a lot happening, so I can understand it. And here you go. So somebody fired a Lars from next to the fob and got blown up. And the fob survived because, like we said, artillery is basically a sniper rifle in this game. Lands right next to the fob. Massive ammo dump. Doesn't do anything. But yes, there has been a counter-battery attempt from red, which is good to see. Blue, you know, Dankins, he's in the zone, but, I mean, he's not got a CV in there, and it just seems very wasteful, really. And meanwhile, ED.Monk keeps getting in this one. That was that was short-lived. So this will be the last MiG-21 Bison cluster. You get 2 per card for a maximum of 4, and it dies. It did land on that Marder, I think. Maybe, kind of. But yeah, those Eyehawks just cleaning it all up. Jurgen, oh, I thought it was going on the Eyehawk then. It's going on these, and it might get them. It is getting them. It got them all. Got them both, so really good kill there. That's like 300 points, right? Okay, never mind. They've come down a bit. It's 230 points, but it's still 8. That was a really good kill. ED.Monk buying more RT, even though his grads are not doing anything, and I feel like these guys can't afford to keep all this supplied. 12 minutes left. Maybe he's just going to fire the 40 rounds that are in it and just not resupply it. That's also a valid strategy. I mean, that's 10 salvos for 210 points. Can be worth it. So the Jurgens are continuing to counter battery, because yes, there was a 155 here, right? And so this is probably dead. No, he split the volley. What? Okay. So it will eventually go on that again. Oh no, it's been cancelled now. There you go, there was actually an M110 here. Wow. So, ED.Monk, you know, he's doing some work here. Not sure how this is spotted, actually. But it is getting shot. This is not advisable at all. All these guys are going to kill this. Infantry, tanks in close spaces, especially in towns, really not a good idea, because they could jump in the buildings and side-shot you, basically. Although these dragons have minimum range. For some reason, the CV was at the front. Yet to see any Apaches from blue. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing all the DAPs and stuff. I think like an Apache back here. You know, you've got the Hellfires going. You obviously got to be very careful, make sure the Eagles and stuff don't get you. But the point is that these divs don't have, like, the max range against aircraft, against helicopters is like 2,600 meters or something. Oh, I guess the Tunguska on 6Y has 3,000 meters. But apart from that, yeah, the Hellfires are really going to cause problems. So the T-80 BVs are all dead because the infantry just ran forwards and blew them all up. And there was some artillery aid there. The minimum range on Dragons now is like 125 meters or something. It's really low. It does still exist though. So, yeah, 10 minutes left. I mean, really, Blue's got to cap some zones. And I just don't see where it's coming from. Dankins' attack here has obviously not worked. I mean, it's much easier to defend a town than it is to attack it. Keep in mind that, you know, Red basically had a foothold in this from minute 0. And that's how they were able to keep that going. They never really lost that foothold. Except for a few minutes. These have a lot of Kokons. Kokons are quite scary now. The pen is not fantastic. 19. It can one-shot a 5 armor vehicle, I think. So 18 can definitely one-shot a 4 armor vehicle. See, DukeDankins is trying to tell his mate, get to the town edge, well, but then I'll get shot. But, oh wow, T-80 BV's being killed by artillery there. That was like 2 of them went down there. Wow, an electronic warfare plane. So these are garbage because, you know, they've got high ECM, but, you know, as you can see, it doesn't really do anything. Seed is just better, I think, but 39Y doesn't get seed, so that's the trade-off. This comes out of ammo. And the EW plane died. Oh, the I-Hawk finally got hit. No, that Eagle went too deep, though. He got picked off. Cool airplay. I mean, there's a lot going on. You see these tornadoes, they've got a lot of long-range missiles, but they're not actually that long-range. So yeah, it's hard to use them well, especially with playing turning circles being what it is. But basically, you're supposed to like volley the missile and then turn, like with the MiG-31B. But because planes turn like bricks in this game, they usually can't get out in time. They turn, but they still pass over the enemy AA, or they get hit by the enemy fight. Like if the enemy fighter's got lower range missiles, if you turn, because of how big your turning circle is, he will catch up to you and he will shoot you with his less long range missiles, with his closer range missiles. So it's often not worth it. These volley planes, basically. 2 seed out. Sure. I mean, there is a Tunguska here and a Buck. This one misses twice. This one should now fire, and it also misses twice. Kind of not very lucky player today, Mr. Dankins. Very unlucky. But the artillery is taking its toll. Like, these tanks keep dying. Having said that, there's 7 minutes left, and Red have quite a substantial lead. The artillery is also being counter-batteried effectively by the Jurgens, so that I assume that one's going to die. Mega Waffle 1 is going to get some kills. Been some really good waffle volleys this game, so that got 3. And the artillery back here died, that's why we had it selected, so that we would see that disappear. This ticker thing doesn't work properly, it's very sad, but it is the truth. If multiple things die in the same frame, it only lists 1. They've got to die at like slightly different timestamps, basically. So those 3, you saw that they died 1, 2, 3, and that's why they all came up. But if you get a bomb dead on a bunch of things, kill them all at once, it tends to only show 1 or 2. The Eurogun has really been eating this this artillery. It's been doing really well. That one's probably going to survive, actually, due to the way the volleys were split. That was only like 4 missiles. Yeah, what can I say? Like, blue's very strong here. They could break through to Delta and get that +2. I wonder if they'll go for it. Or just keep smacking their face into this town over and over again. There's not much infantry left, though. You would assume 2nd Panzergrenadier would... Yeah, exactly. They don't run armadas, so... I really think blue needs to go in for this. It's not going to be easy, right? Because of all the tall buildings and stuff that you can put ATGMs in. Or in this case, you know, recon to keep vision for your planes and stuff. What you tend to see in like lower level games is a lot of focus on artillery. But on a map this wide, it makes a lot of sense. So this engine is destroyed, so surely that is the better target because that can't actually get out of the way. Whereas Dankins is like, bro, move your tank. And he's not doing it. He's still not noticed. Is he gonna die? You hate to see it. You hate to see it. I mean, he pinged it. he pinged it. He's like, bro, move your tank. And he just stood there. He ate the whole volley from, what is that, 3 giant S's, 4 Mr. Beans, whatever. And yeah, the game slowed down 5 minutes, but, you know, blue needs to get some points. And yes, okay, here we go. So it looks like he's committed some tanks, but not the Marders. I despair. Sure. Oh wow, an Apache ATGM. So with 5 minutes left, listen, I mean nothing's happening. I'm gonna speed up till something happens. I mean if they're just gonna sit there. I would hope to see like a final blast from blue to try and get some points. Like once these units arrive maybe, but it seems that it's just kind of slowed down into artillery stalemate. LGBT's coming in here for the Delta Force. I'm interested to see what these Marders are going to do, if they're just going to faceplant as well. LGBT goes down to the Tornadoes. And you see the MiG-31 can actually fire pretty far. This thing is not so great. Really only useful against helicopters at the start of the game. Not sure why this has been brought, actually. It can be useful to protect your MiG-21 clusters. You send that one first, and that eats the Eyehawk shot, and then your cluster kills the enemy. I'm pretty sure that's what I have them in my deck for that exact purpose. I'm pretty sure that's why I do it. Pretty sure that's why, yeah. Either that or I was just trying it out or something. Raven EW. It's not a seed. It's not a seed. It does have high ECM, but it ain't a seed. She's definitely electronic warfaring. So like, typically you could use it to like soak shots, and then you're like, oh, the enemy's there, and then you could use your bomber to kill the AA. That can be a usage for it, but generally I just think they're a waste of space. I'd rather bring a plane that kills things. Tornado went down there, lots of air went down. That was a really big air fight. And now blue really need to do something, but at this point I just don't think it's going to make any difference. I think they can't catch up on points. I think even if they had the whole map. Doesn't stop them from trying though. So the Marders, yeah, they're just getting lit up by the Metis. There's no recon here, right? So they're not able to work at max range. So they get into Metis range. 1250. This is 1575. This is also Conkers, which can reach out a lot further. All those guys are dead. And now, okay, so the Uragan's coming in just to finish the job. Electronic warfaring. Okay, helicopter rush. Well, it's not much of a rush if it's happening 1 minute from the end of the game. Electronic warfare denied. There's a cub there. Not sure what the plan is here. I mean, you need that Apache on that cub, I guess, but that can actually fight back, so I'm not entirely sure. Here we go. Right, big move, big attack. Tornado Seed is out, although this has just had its gun switched off, so it can still fire its missiles. Because the missiles aren't radar, the missiles are SACLOS. Just gets obliterated. Yeah. But yeah, if only blue had recognized this weakness further. Like ED.Monk, he just sort of massively overinvested into the town. Well, sending those T-80 BVs in was sort of the turning point there. So lots of red deaths. There were some grad sent forwards here. They went down. BMP 1Ps. I prefer the 1P. I think the grenade launcher's trash, and they don't get smoke. So the grenade launcher takes the space of the smoke. But here we go with 20 seconds left. Can he make it to the zone? I think he needs a lift if he wants to make it in. Don't think he's gonna make it in time, but you see the infantry making a valiant last hurrah over the wrecks of these helicopters. And that's GG. So yeah, pretty convincing game for red. Like they just had a tick for the whole game basically. Blue basically got no points on the board apart from at the start, which is tough. It's tough, you know. So good job to Marisa Fan, who's me. Marisa Fan is me. I'm a very good player. But that was mainly because DukeDankins just kept running at that town and just getting massacred. I think he would have been much better off helping his teammate Infantry in the other town. And you see, similarly, Infantry had that same kind of trade against ED.Monk, because ED.Monk was constantly attacking a town and Infantry was constantly defending a town. So those Luftschirmjäger basically did extremely well. I did like the Mega Waffle plays, and the Jurgen especially got a lot of artillery. A lot of artillery there for the Jurgen. I don't rate EW planes at all, but yeah, look at that Mega Waffle, that got a lot of guys. Where's the other one? And the Ihawk. The Ihawk's got all the clusters. Mega Waffle 2 only got one unit. That's very sad. So yeah, GG. Do let me know what you think. Do please leave a comment. Helps with the engagement. And I'll see you in the next one.